Good afternoon, everyone, from a very wet and windy North Carolina. Cindy has asked me to create some videos on adding stitches and deleting individual stitches, moving stitches in the editor. So that's this video is going to be about adding stitches. So here I go. I'm going to start with a new hoop, and I'm just going to go into Autopunch to start with and select an image. I've got one here very conveniently of a horse, and I'm just going to click finish because at this stage I don't really care about any of the parameters. I just want to get the horse on the screen. There we have it, and if I view in a bit closer and go to realistic view, there we have the horse on the screen. And you know me well enough to know that I like it denser than that, so I'm going to select, sorry about this, splint still on finger, making it awkward, so here we go. So anyway, I've selected the horse and I want to make it more dense, but I want to make the whole image more dense, not just a part of the image. So rather than going to my outline edit and my embroidery settings, I'm going to right mouse click to change the parameters of the whole of the design, or the whole of the block in this case. So there's my density. I'm going to change that to 3 and say OK, and there we have, much better. There we have our horse on the screen. Now to add stitches, I'm going to drag this out of the way to give myself as much room to work with as I can. I will take off the realistic view and I'm going to zoom in to 1000%, and then navigate to the where you want to add stitches. There you can see them at the horse's head. Now, instead of outline edit, here we come up to the stitch edit function. I'm going to click that once, and what it's done, I need to open this back up again, it's put my cursor on the very first stitch of the very first block that would be stitched, and that's not where I want to add stitches. So what I need to do is select a stitch point of where I do want to add my stitches. Now I know that these are all stitch points, and if you're not sure, you can actually view your stitch points under the view on the menu, or you can hit the P on your keyboard, and this actually has 3 clicks. The first time you click it, it will put little dots on each one of the stitch points, and I've done that, and you can probably see those little dots there. That's all the stitch points for this design. If I repeat that and click on stitch points again, the second time I click, it makes those dots a bit larger is all, to make them really visible, which sometimes makes it easier. And the third time I click it, it turns them off. So if I hit the P, as I said on my keyboard, first click brings up the dots, second time I click the P, it makes them bolder, third time I click the P, they disappear. So I'm going to put them bold so you can see exactly what's going on. And as I said, I don't want to start over here, I actually want to start up here. So I'm going to click this stitch here, and in clicking it, it's like stuck my cursor to that stitch point. And what I've done is I just wanted to select it, so I'm going to now click it with my right mouse click to release it from my cursor, but I've now in the position that I want to add stitches to. So I come up here to the toolbar at the top, and there's my add stitches or delete stitches. In this case I want to add stitches, and the moment I click the add stitches, it's going to attach my cursor to that stitch point again. So I've clicked that, and the moment my mouse moves back onto the canvas or back onto the hoop, you'll see that that stitch has been attached again there. you can see where it's attached again. Now I can position my cursor anywhere on the screen, and when I click with my left mouse button, it's going to add a stitch point. So I'm going to come up here, you can see what I'm going to do, and I'm going to click, and there it's placed a stitch in that position, and I'm going to come down here and click, and up here again and click, and down here again and click, and now, as I say, everywhere I click, here a click, there a click, everywhere a click, click, it's going to place a stitch point. Ignore me, it's Sunday and it's raining, so I've got to have some comic relief somewhere. So click, 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 click. Everywhere I click, it's going to add a new stitch point. And I just keep going, adding stitches. And I'm going to put some more of these up and down here. So there we are, lots of stitches. And when I've done, I click with my right mouse button to disengage my cursor from the stitches. I turn my stitch editing off by clicking the icon again, and I'm going to go back down to my 200% view, realistic view, and now you can see the horse is now a unicorn, and I hope you followed that. And it really is that simple. I suggest you don't view realistic so you can see what's going on. Usually always going to be editing at 1000% so you can see what you're doing a lot easier, and then you can turn your stitch points on or off if that makes it easier. Excuse me, just getting over a cold here. So that's how to add stitches, and let's do some deleting of stitches. Here we are up on the tail, and let's say I don't like this little flick of hair that's up here. So the same sort of process. First of all, I click on my stitch edit, then I have to click on the stitch that I want to edit, select it, and then right mouse click to detach my cursor so I can come up and click, in this case, delete stitches. So when I click delete, I can't delete them with my mouse. The only way I can delete these stitches, let me view the stitch points again so you can see better what's happening. The only way I can delete these stitches is by using the right and left arrow on my keyboard. And I did cover this before in something, but one arrow takes you in one direction, deleting, the other arrow takes you in the other direction, deleting. So here now I'm going to press my left arrow on my keyboard, click, 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 and everywhere. So now it's starting to come down the tail of the horse. I don't want that, so I'm now going to right arrow, right arrow, right arrow to get back to where I was, and then turn the delete off. Click on my stitch edit again, and then come and pick another point. I'm going to click this point here, and I'm going, so it's moving with me until I right mouse click so I can come up here and say delete, and then I'm using my right arrow as far as I can. I've deleted those, and now I'm going to turn the delete off, and I want to delete this line here, so I'm just going to click on this point, right mouse click to detach it so I can come up here to my button and say delete, and turn that off. Oops, turn that off. So now you can see I've deleted that swirly bit of tail, but now I've got a step in the tail, so I need to I don't need to add stitches, I don't need to delete anymore, I just need to move the stitches that are there. So I come back up here to stitch edit, and now I just click on a stitch, move my mouse and click to the new position. So left mouse click to click the stitch, and then left mouse click again to position it where I want it to be. So all I'm going to do now is move these stitches into a better line so I get rid of that step that's in the tail. And I hope this is making sense as always to you. So what I'm doing now is just moving a stitch from there to there, from there to there, and there's a couple more here I want just to line up a bit better. So there we have moved those. I'm not very good at that, but there you go, into a better line. And I can see down here there's one that's leaving me a bit of a gap, so I'm going to go to stitch edit again, pick up this stitch in the middle here and move it up to there. Want to move it there. That's a bit better. If I was really being pedantic, I could put them in a nice line there as well, but I'm not. So here we go. Back down to 200%. Turn off my stitch points. Realistic view. So we've added the horn to the horse to make him a unicorn, and I've taken off that extra swirly piece of tail. So that's how you add stitches, how you delete stitches, and how you move stitches. So to just recap on that, just to make sure that you've got it. Let's move up here. To add stitches, you first of all select where on your image you want to add them, and you do that by clicking with your left mouse button to select the stitch, and then right mouse button to detach it from your cursor. Otherwise it'll just move it around all over the place. Click the add stitch button, and then with your left mouse click, 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 click. Don't ask me why I'm doing this. I just want to show you that you can click all over the place wherever you want to. Click, 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 click. And then when you're done, right mouse click, and it detaches it from your cursor, and there you have a big mess on top of the horse, which you can always undo with your undo button up here. And if you make any changes, don't forget to do a save as and rename a design so you don't lose the integrity of the original design, in this case of the horse that I had. So stitch edit, add stitches. For deleting stitches, the same process. First of all, you have to tell it where you want to delete the stitches. So I'm going to come over here. That's the first stitch I want to delete. So I've selected it. I'm now going to right mouse click to detach it from my cursor, so I can come up and click the delete button on the toolbar. And once I'm on delete, now I have to go to my keyboard and my right arrow or my left arrow. Click, 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 click. And then when I've done, come back here to turn it off. And so I've sort of got rid of his ear there. Poor little thing. So his other ear's gone, and then to move stitches, put myself here, like I did on the tail. Sometimes it's better to show the stitch points, show them again so they're bold. Come up here to the stitch edit, and this time you're not clicking on adding or deleting, because you're not adding or deleting. All you're doing is selecting a stitch and moving it to a new position. So click, 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 click. Don't ask me why I'm doing this. My granddaughter says, because I can. And there we go. And turn it off. So now, excuse me, I'm back to 100%. So I've just moved, turn off the stitch points, view realistic. Let's come a bit closer. So there I deleted the ear, and then I've added a mess to the towel there. But anyway, hopefully you get the idea on that. So I'll say cheerio, and as always, ask me any questions if you need me to cover this in any more detail. But I'll talk to you later. Bye.